So I'd like to talk about, because I need to think about it myself, is my plan for this year, for 2026. I have finished 4 years here, retired, immersed in the rice fields about 20 minutes outside of the city of Korat, which is in central Thailand, is within the Isan region, which I strong recommend on the Isan retirement if you like the peace and quiet, and we'll get into that with my goals and stuff. So I've completed 4 years here, and now looking forward to year five. I need to come up with some kind of plan. If I don't think of the goals that I want to accomplish, then I'll just end up not doing a whole lot, and that necessarily, and that's not what I really would like for myself. So let me back up and talk about the lifestyle that I've chosen for myself. That's made me really happy. Let's start with that. So I'm a pretty quiet guy, kind of an introvert. I like it quiet and peaceful. In my life back in the States, I mean, I had a lot of fun, but it was absolutely very high stress, and there was often not a lot of peace, or at least there were a lot of things incoming at me that would disturb my peace if I let them, and it was challenging to not let them disturb my peace. I'll put it that way. Obviously, ended up divorced, so the marriage was obviously not that great, and that's very stressful when you've done that, and you've put yourself in a situation where you're not happy and all that. That's a tough one, and it's a very expensive to solve that problem, as every guy knows. So but that's all done in the past, and I'll tell you, as I reflect back on that, I'm so thankful. I can't. Sometimes I almost can't believe that I got out. I almost can't believe it. It's crazy to think, but because you're so embedded, if you're with someone, if you're married to someone for almost 3 decades, I mean, everything is so entangled, and it's also interesting lesson too. And I was kind of aware of the lesson, but boy, this really taught me the lesson by taping it to the end of a baseball bat and whacking me over the head with it a couple of times. How temporary everything is. Like, I'm aware of that from my bodybuilding days and my friends in that. A friend would get an injury, and I had some friends that were pretty dang big guys, and bigger than I ever wanted to be, I'll say. And they would get an injury or take some time off. And I mean, some of the guys, I'd see them only a few months later, and it was like, where's the rest of you? I mean, it was always shocking to me how a guy could lose so much lean, dense muscle mass in weeks or months. I mean, really incredible. And I read up, there's an author I like, Randy Wayne White. He has this Doc Ford series, and there's one where one of the bad guys was a bodybuilder, and in the end he ended up in bad shape, and he was completely just deflated, and so that kind of put it in my mind. So I got the lesson that way. Sometimes a physical lesson or like a shallower kind of lesson is easier to learn something because you're not so resistant to it because it's just a shallow little lesson. But this thing on muscles and stuff kind of taught me that things are temporary, and everything here is temporary. And when you come overseas, you lose friends. You're gonna get you're gonna have to just do you. And that's what I did when I was married before, when things were rough and maybe not so happy and all that in my house. I spent all my time with my friends, with my pals, car club, weightlifting. I was a gym rat. I was doing 2-hour workouts 6 days a week, all that. So that's a little bit on my lifestyle, I guess. So let me look at what's making me happy. What's making me happy is there's the peace and quiet, running my own schedule every single day. And right now I do Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday about an hour and a quarter of weightlifting time. And by the time I get there, sit for a minute, unpack my gym bag and maybe set up, get a coffee if I need a little extra energy, or get a nice water for myself. And by the time I change into my gym clothes, because I'll either ride my motorcycle or Fawn's car to the gym. We'll talk about my motorcycle in a minute. And then I do all that, then workouts done, shower, everything. It's about 2 hours of time, not including transpo there and back. So then that's 3 hours, which that's half a day. So So anyway, so Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do a 1 hour Thai with Kru Usani. Kru means teacher. So with Kru Usani. Usani is her first name. And funny how she doesn't go by a nickname. That's interesting. Most people go by a nickname. She doesn't. But it's just dawned on me. And so that's 2 hours, obviously. Plus, whenever I'm in the city, I'll at least go and pick up a snack or a diet soda. Usually in the evening, I'll sip one diet soda. That's my big sin. Sue me for that one. In the evening while I'm watching a TV or reading a book or something. So those are 3 hour trips. And on a gym day, one of those days, twice a week, somewhere I'll get a massage, physical therapy. I get a medium hard massage, and I'll ask Thai style, so there's stretching of your limbs, particularly my hips and my legs. And I do it on my own at the gym too. But having an expert really help manipulate your joints when you're stiff and old. That really does help, I'll tell you. So I do all that. So I enjoy all that. Usani is one of my best friends here in Thailand. I've known her 5.5 years. Yeah, maybe even longer. So all of those days are great. So I love that. And then in the mornings, I putter around with Fawn. Obviously I guess I'll say my wife now, because we just had our village wedding ceremony last week. If any of the photos are ready while I'm editing this, and that's a big if, I'll throw a couple in. I'll probably do a video after this on marriage in Thailand. It's an obvious one, probably a good one to cover. And then the people that are kind of fans and following my journey can kind of see more on the actual wedding, which turned out very nice. Everybody was awesome, and just the value of immersion. Let me tell you, I get help, and nothing but more help all the time. I had a whole bunch of Fawn and I had a bunch of our mutual Thai friends over yesterday, and I was chatting. This is all Thai. The people. There's a couple of people that speak broken English a little, but 90% of all people speak Thai only. And this is all Thai. And I was hanging, chatting, gossiping, and telling jokes with 5 other Thai guys. One about almost my age, and the other guys are all fairly young, closer to Fawn's age. Well, a couple of them were close to my age. Anyway, so that was all a lot of fun. And we were doing some whiskey tasting, and then 2 of us decided to have a cigar, and it was just a lot of fun. But so I enjoy my immersion, and I'm doing a little bit of that, and my language is enough where I can do that. It's a challenge. So after my puttering around in the morning with Fawn, some days I drive her to work, and then I have the use of her car all day. She's insanely generous with her car. She would allow me to take it more than she would have use of it. If I wanted, I could do that, and she would probably not complain. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I honestly don't like borrowing her car. She's my wife, and I built her this beautiful house, and I support her financially, but I feel like a mooch using her car. Like, her whole family pooled their resources to purchase that darn thing. So it was a moonshot thing for them, and I feel guilty if I scratch it or, what. You get the idea. So anyway, the other days I ride my motorcycle, which I love, but that's a little bit weather dependent. And we've had, even though we're in the winter and this is the cool season, it's lovely, lovely. This is the best time of year to be in Thailand, let me tell you. The problem is we got a storm has come down from China, and we got rain. So it's been kind of rainy as I'm looking at a dark sky right now. I have both, Fawn has offered to bring her car back to me this afternoon so I can take that to go learn Thai. And the motorcycle is basically all done. I'm going to add some more fancy paint when the hot season hits next time. And when it's really hot, like in the peak hot season, then the bike's not that much fun to ride. And that's the time you take it to the shop and get the stuff done on it that you want. That's what I did the first year I had it. This is the second year, and I'm going to do that trick again because that's a darn good trick. So that's been great. And then I've been healing. It's been 1.5 years since my last spinal surgery. Yeah, 1.5 years plus. And I'm fragile with that. If I do any bending, stooping, sitting too long, standing, I can get in a real bad way. But yeah, it's manageable, and I'm mobile. I can as long as I can take breaks when I need, and my back tells me it's tired and all that. I can work around that, and I can live a life. So that's awesome. So I'm doing that. And my workouts are progressing. And I don't care about having a big bench press anymore. I used to do all that crap. But now all I want to do is look reasonably good and mostly just feel good. Mostly, actually, the number one thing is I want to keep some body strength and core strength and leg strength, so that I can maintain some physicality for the next, hopefully 10, 20 years. I'm 62. So that means a lot to me. I've had this conversation with one of my weightlifting mentors, and a guy who's a fitness. My gosh, the guy's incredibly fit. He's a little bit older than me, and he looks like he's. If you didn't see his face, it's just his body. He looks like he's 19. I mean, he's disgusting. He's so fit. He looks like one of those guys on the internet. I mean, he actually looks like that. I mean, it's crazy. I look like absolute crap standing next to him. I hate taking a photo next to him. I'm kidding, but he's such a sweet guy. We've been really good friends for a long time. Now I just want to kind of continue on. I'm in like cruise control mode now. It was pulling teeth and trench warfare to progress physically the last 5 years. And I have just in the last 2 or 3 months, just the very first time in like 5 years, starting to where the workouts aren't so painful, aren't so risky, aren't so frequently little tiny injuries, which when you're 62 and recovering from spinal surgery aren't little tiny injuries. They're big injuries that could stop you. I'm well aware of that. And I don't want any more surgery. I can't handle another surgery, man. I can't do it. So, but I'm in cruise control mode now, and I respect it. It's privileged. It's my cake, man. It's beautiful. I respect it and appreciate it for what it is, and that most guys that have had happen to them what happened to me don't get this opportunity. And I'm very appreciative, and I'm careful. I'm very careful in how I move and what I do, other than the motorcycling, which is dangerous, but I had great people teaching me, and I honestly feel comfortable doing what I'm doing. I ride only when the roads are almost empty. I ride between the 2 rush hours. The roads are not in... I've been in heavy traffic, and I can handle it, but man, Thailand's pretty crazy. I will tell you, the good thing is the Thais watch out for bikes. And if you're on a Harley Davidson or an Indian or some big classic bike, they seem to think that you might be like maybe a big boss of some kind, and they don't want a problem with you. And they literally the C part's in front of me as I ride. I'm not kidding. So if you have a big bike, it's worth it to buy that, because it's 10 times safer than an ordinary motorcycle. 10 times. So anyway, so that's the workouts and stuff. Then on my appearance, I upgraded my appearance quite a bit since I've been divorced. That's pretty common. You know, men and women will get divorced, and the women go get their hair, makeup, and nails done. Men and women both try and lose weight. Guys will try and put some muscle on. You know, that's all pretty normal. Women will buy a bunch of new clothes. You know, guy will get a couple of, if he's muscular, like I'm still muscular, you get a couple of muscle shirts or something. You know, you feel good about yourself, whatever, self-confidence, enjoy your life, who cares, do what you want. But I've done a lot of skin treatments here, which they're healthy. They actually builds up the natural collagen and tissue in your skin, and then you start to age in reverse, which I have done. It's weird. You can look at old photos, old videos of me, and you may, oh, geez, that's barely the same guy. But I'm not really needing to do that anymore. I wasn't trying to be Mr. Handsome or anything. I just looked like I got beat down, because I had got beat down. So it's weird why I looked like that. And I just looked tired and haggard and all that. No one says, hey, gee, hope I look really tired and haggard tomorrow. Nobody says that. So I just didn't like it. And it was kind of like wearing my divorce and my forced retirement on my face. And I didn't need the reminder and all that. And so I just wanted to take control and be me and do me. And so I did that. And honestly, I don't regret it. So I've gotten some haters on that, and that's fine. Hate all you want. Enjoy your hatred. I cleaned up my appearance. I look and feel better, and I've rehabbed my back. I feel better. All that. That's all pretty good. So now this is the first year where my whole year isn't like all these have-tos. Like, oh my gosh, I got to try and crawl out of the pits of hell and being able to walk. I couldn't walk unassisted. There's a fun fact. So now I don't have I can't walk very far, but I can walk enough to walk at the mall and walk to the car and back, and I'm okay. So, I mean, I'm getting there. And then I didn't feel like I wanted to like spend some time and focus on my physical appearance. Like I just said, I'm okay with that. I look fine for a 62-year-old guy. I don't have any complaints, so that's fine. I look, as good as I'm gonna standing next to Fawn. I'm not gonna. She's very pretty. I tend to look kind of old and papery compared to when I stand next to her in a photo, but that's life. Water is wet, the sky is blue. I can't change these things, so that I'm not going to worry about. So that isn't a project anymore. And the house is built. The house, I'll throw in a photo or two, but there's a recent, you can go back about a month and you can see a big update on my house, and there's a lot of photos. But I'll throw a couple in here. But the house is done. I mean, we're going to keep putzing on the garden, Sue and his garden, and we have a really pretty garden going in. A little kind of slightly Japanese style, a little bit kind of generic Japanese with a Midwestern barbecue pit in the middle of it, whatever you want to call that. I don't care, but I like it. And it's a maintenance-free exterior, more or less, but Fawn's parents come over every week for several hours and do all the maintenance, weed pulling. I physically can't. I can't bend down. I've been lifetime banned from bending and picking stuff up off the floor. So the house is kind of a maintenance thing. Now, we're going to putz on some things, and I am going to extend the garage, because if you build a house in Thailand, there's a limit of 150 square meters. If you go beyond that, it's a big process to get a permit, and they want to take a close look at you. And Fawn's family didn't like that, and they said, don't do that. And I said, hey, my house is 147 square meters. And they include the garage and the porches and all the concrete outside. Not the driveway, but any patio concrete they include in the square meter of the square footage. So, and I didn't know that until the end. I'm like, so we cut a little bit here and there. And one thing I cut was the garage. At the last second, I cut a little bit out of it, and I need to add half of that back on, and I knew I was going to have to, and it's fine, I don't care, because I'm going to buy a car probably later this year, maybe in a few months, and it won't fit in the garage, and I knew it wouldn't, and it's fine. This is all part of the plan. So this is preferable, and I'm not wasting. The door gets reused. I set it out a meter further out. It's no problem. The half of the garage where I park my Harley Davidson, that's plenty big enough to park the motorcycle in there. That part's staying. I'm just going to extend the half that the car goes in. So that's fine. So there's a couple house projects I'm going to do. And I have been able to travel a little bit now. Before, travel was agonizingly painful, and I did a few because I just wanted to in case I couldn't in the future. I didn't know what was going to happen. If I was going to recover or not was a great big fat question. But now I can actually sort of travel. So we're going to plan a future. We did Laos. We did our trip to Laos, which we loved. We'd do it different next time, but we basically got in, cracked the code on Laos. We knew what we like. We like the capital city of the foreigner pronunciation is Vientiane. That is not at all even remotely close to how the locals or the Thais say it. But on a map, it's spelled like you would pronounce it Vientiane, but it's pronounced some other. I can't say it, but it's to me kind of unpronounceable, but you get the idea. So we'll do that again. We're going to go down south somewhere by the beach. I told Fawn I want to do some kind of a nice beach trip, like a 3 days, maybe 4 days, 3 nights beach thing. And usually every year or so, I take like her whole family. I rent a small, like a big van, and then if the professional drivers, no one's got to drive, and then we basically hit all the PTT stations, these big rest stops they have here, and buy snacks and tea and whatnot, and get driven down to wherever the heck we're going and have a great time. And I rent like usually 3 rooms. One for me and Fawn, and then one for her parents, and one for her cousin, and then the kids all kind of share wherever they're going to stay. And sometimes one of the nights they'll stay in my room, but not every night. I want some time with Fawn as well, if you follow my logic. So we have all that. So I'm going to do that. I want that to be a beach thing. So because I haven't seen the beach in a little bit, so we'll do that. I think this is going to be the first year. I just want to kind of settle into my little happy routine that I told you about, my 1-1-1 every other day, doing either Thai or the gym. I really like that. It's a really happy routine that makes me happy. So I think I want to kind of live in the moment and live day by day and enjoy that routine. I mean, that may sound like a simple goal, but I want to do that. And I don't mind picking up a couple things or organizing. I swept my driveway this morning. In the early morning, it's really cool and crisp, and I'm a morning person. I like watching the day kind of wake up. So I'm going to kind of keep putzing on the house a little bit some mornings, but I don't do any housework per se. I just don't do any. I'm a 70s Neanderthal, and I'm just comfortable with that. But I don't do laundry. I don't cook. I don't clean. I'll pay for stuff, and I'll be generous with people, and I'll enforce discipline and rules, and I'll help her raise her boys. But I won't cook and clean. So you can hate on me for that if you want, but that's just who I am. And it's hard on me. That's kind of rough. Then we'll start thinking about the car. There's a big car show coming up, I think, next month. So I'm going to go see this big car show and take a look. It'll probably be the Isuzu or the Toyota 7-passenger SUV thing. I kind of favor the looks of the Isuzu. I might do that. And I researched it, and their 3-liter diesel engine is like legendary for running a routinely 600,000 kilometers trouble-free. And that sounds good to me. Not that I'll probably ever put that many miles on it, but I like a nice, reliable engine. So that might be a good thing. And it does look nice. And what else do I have? Fawn and I, we regularly do date night. And we're going to do that this weekend. Last weekend was the wedding. This weekend, I said, let's take one night and go do a date. There's one restaurant we really like. She really likes it, probably more than I do. But they have some things in the menu that looked really good that I saw last time, but I haven't tried yet. Some nice like grilled sandwiches and things. It's kind of a higher-end, classy restaurant. I'd wear a shirt like this or better going there. It's one of the classier places, honestly, which I kind of like, nice and quiet. And you don't get any foreign guys there. The foreign guys tend to go to the pubs and stuff, and they tend to wear athletic wear, whether they're at the gym, which by the looks of them, they don't think they see a gym too often. But they certainly wear athletic wear when they go to the mid-level restaurants around Korat. And I just don't appreciate being lumped in with those guys. So they can do what they want, and that's fine, but I prefer my life. So I'd rather... I just do better. It's quieter with the Thai people. Some of the people that come here, some of the foreigners, are kind of obnoxious. They're kind of like loud at the restaurant. They make a scene, shouting at people. You think I'm making it up? I see it almost every week. And there aren't too many foreigner people around me, so it's not good. So we're gonna focus on date night a little bit. We got out of that a little bit because I was a little tired. I was pushing through this last kind of physical stuff, but I seem to have come out the other end of it. And it's some minor injuries, which again aren't minor when you're 62 and recovering from major surgery. So, but I seem to be through all that. One of my favorite physical therapy ladies left to go to one of the bigger cities, which I understand. But shit, now I got to replace her, so I got to I got to find somebody for that, but I'll find somebody. That's not too hard. Thai massage is incredible. It's kind of like a PT. It's incredible, and you can ask for more of what you want, and it's super helpful. It's almost like chiropractic care because they'll kind of pop your back a little bit, which we do carefully in my case. And this year, I've got open-ended plans with my kids when I go back home. Still up in the air as to when I'll go back home and what I'll do. We may all meet in Japan, or I may just go home for a couple weeks, see my boy, and then pop through and see my daughter on the way in and on the way out. It might be kind of a more minimal. Either way, it's going to be probably more minimal because if we meet in Japan, it's not going to be for 2 weeks. It's going to be for like a week, maybe 5 days. So it's going to be probably something pretty small. So I think this year's going to mostly be me, I guess, doing my schedule, which I'm really happy about. I'm looking for a couch for this room here. I want like something you could just put 3 people on, something that I could just barely long enough I could lay down on, and if I got to fold my knees to lay down and take a nap on. If I can't fall asleep on the couch in my library, the couch isn't any good in my opinion. So, and I want a 60s style kind of thing. I want that. I want to be hip man. So I want like a 60s, 70s style couch. And probably when I go home, I was thinking of buying some Klipsch speakers. I'm a big Klipsch fan. I like their Heritage series. Those are unchanged since the originals were invented like in the 1950s or something. They're still made out of plywood in Arkansas, the same place. And they've had, some of the speaker components I'm sure have gotten modernized. There's probably a little computer in there now, but you get the idea. It's the same basic honking thing. I like stuff like that. And they look the same. They haven't restyled them ever, which I hope they never do. So I'm going to do that. And I think that's going to be about it. The new car will be kind of a distraction. That'll be a little bit of a big deal. I'm going to finance it, by the way. And when I do it, I'll put a video up on it. But I'm going to finance it and over like 5 years or something. Keep the payment to like 15,000 baht a month, something not too crazy. And I'm going to do that. I think we're looking at smooth sailing. This will be my first year of smooth sailing, potentially. Let's hope. I think so. And it's been a lovely 4 years here in Thailand. It's worked out well for me. I've really settled in. I've got about 4 nice Western friends here in Thailand. Well, one in Vietnam. We just text back and forth every day or two. He's a smart guy, interesting texting back and forth with him. He often notices things I didn't think of or see, which is interesting to hear from him on that. You know, if you got a friend that just parrots back the stuff you already knew, it isn't very interesting. And Kevin's definitely not like that. So that's nice. And we generally meet, we have kind of a standing order. We meet in Bangkok about every 3 or 4 months, which is great. And it's just like a 1 or 2 nighter, hit a couple of nice rooftop bars somewhere, have a bourbon, have a smoke, have a nice big dinner, swim in the pool all day, take a nap, just, you know, kind of nice. You know, I certainly like that. I got to say I do. And we'll probably start thinking about some travel to some other places. There's obvious places in Thailand that are very nice I still have not gotten to. And I'm sure we'll do another trip to Pak Chong. Pak Chong, I always hit once or twice every year. Always love it. Always a great time. That works for me. I'm definitely a Pak Chong guy. It's not like awesome and crazy. And, oh my gosh, it's so unbelievable. There's basically one big main road that winds through the mountains. It's a mountain place. Winds through the mountains, and there's a bunch of restaurants and things off of it. And there's, I don't know, maybe a half a dozen nice restaurants, and you know, some are overrated, but a couple of them are like, man, they live up to their reputation. There, if you go to like Ribs Man or Witch's Brew, they live up to their reputation every inch. They're really good food, really good service. Ribs Man's expensive, but it's worth it. Witch's Brew is quite a bit cheaper and just as good as Ribs Man. So there's your tip on that. But they're 2 of my favorite restaurants in all of Thailand. I absolutely love them. I probably will try and do a flying trip within the borders of the country too. I'd like to do one of those flying, fly to Phuket or something. We're only 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours away from Khon Kaen and whatever. And from Khon Kaen, we can fly direct to many places in Thailand or skip through the Bangkok airport, change planes, and go on. So probably do something like that. So that's my goal for year 5. And this is what you get if you behave yourself and make some friends and watch your spending and slowly rebuild your life and don't give in to anger and just create your own peace and surround yourself with good, kind, awesome people. Year 5, this is what I'm looking at. And I think this will be just fine. Just got my, dropped off my coffee machine for repair. Strong recommend on the Philips brand if you're in Thailand. Their warranty actually works. I had it fixed for free last time. They had to gut the machine and give me practically all brand new internals. Literally didn't cost me 1 baht. And then it's leaking. It probably needs a new gasket, but I'm just gonna play dumb, turn it in for service and let them fix it. Got my receipt, in and out in 10 minutes. If your Thai isn't fairly good, I would bring a Thai friend because you got to know the words for leak, phone number, the days of the week, all that kind of stuff. So, but man, once you get acclimated, like I am only buying Philips home electronics from now on, I swear to God. Started off with the Blood Oath pack number 9 that I have that you got for me. Thank you. That's my warm-up bourbon now. Doing a small Padron. It is a 1926 though, but it's nice. It's really nice. Just hanging out here in front of my garage, just chilling. A little bit of sprinkling, so I'll get the cover from the roof there a little bit. Woke up from about a 20-minute nap and just kind of enjoying it. Beautiful, cool breeze. So again, here's my motorcycle. Again, pretty much done until I do more paint. Here's a flat rock I found in my front yard. The orange color matches my house. It's a temporary side table for me. Here's a pencil drawing I made of my house. Fawn really likes it. She asked me to do something like this. It's kind of cute. We're going to put it in the living room. Here's me and a gym friend. He asked to do some poses with me, so I said, well, we got to do a muscle pose if we're at the gym. This is just a typical sunrise, a little bit prettier than normal. And speaking of prettier than normal, here's Fawn. That's a photo we took in Laos, and then here's one of the actual wedding day photos. What a beauty. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you've watched this far, please consider hitting like and subscribe.